Hello, my friends. This is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. I am always Carrie Quinn. I am always your host. I am always here. There's never going to be a day where I am not Carrie Quinn. So, deal with it. Um, so, very short week on the comic front, let me tell you. I have four to talk about. And let's be real here, I have four to talk about, and one of them technically released last week. Yeah! Okay. Um, yeah, it's been a light week all around. I've heard other people talking about it. It's pretty light week. Next week has a few more. Um, I see them sitting over there. Definitely more than four, I think. And plus, I was planning on getting another comic um technically released this week that I'm hopefully going to be reading this week, and I'll talk about it because I've heard other people talking about it and I want to read it. That one is unless I change my mind, the Scarlet Witch, the new Scarlet Witch series. A lot of people talking about that one, and I need to read it. From what I've heard, good and bad. The thing is like all the bad reviews that are coming out about it technically have made me want to read it in even more. Um, because they talk about different stuff that happens within the book, and I'm just thinking, I'm into that probably. Probably. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. I'm pretty settled on getting that and talking about it next week. Obviously, you'll find out when I do next week's video if I did actually do that or not. But until then, we're gonna change how the camera looks here. Yeah. Really, I just wanted to change like how I was sitting in front of the camera, and it worked. Yay. Anyways, so what's some stuff coming up? What have I been doing before I get into the comics? Because it's really, like I said, not going to take a lot of time to talk about the comics this week. Um, so I've been reading a lot. I've been finally reading Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. Hadn't read it before this time. So if you follow me on social media, you will know um, that I have made comments about how absolutely dense it is. As of today, as of recording today on Sunday, January 8th, I have one issue, one part, technically left to go on that one. I am also reading a Harley trade currently. Um, and yeah, I'm also reading the Daisy Jones and the Six. I just started reading that today by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have never read any of their books before, so we'll have to see how that goes. Right now, I am like two chapters in. It's a little bit different of a format. Um, she plays with format a little bit here in that um, it's kind of like based off of she makes it look like it's kind of based off of research and interviews, and so it's kind of interesting. I remember as a kid reading oh golly, what was it? There was this one book. Oh, as a kid, I was in my 20s, reading Bridget Jones' Diary, which was based off of just journal entries. It wasn't actually telling the story. Like when you watch the movie, it's like you're watching the story, right? However, it was told in journal entries. Um, yeah. So, um, and if you've ever read Stephen King's Carrie, there's also like a little bit of a play with the format rather than just being like paragraph, 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 paragraph. Um, a little bit different play with the format there. Um, one could possibly say, since I can't think of anyone else that has done anything like that, he's really one of the first people to do anything like that. Um, unless somebody can tell me of somebody that's done it earlier than that, that's what I'm gonna believe. That's gonna be my headcanon. So I'm prepared to be proven wrong, but right now I'm accepting that I'm right. So, anyways, but yeah, just getting more into reading more. I'm gonna probably do another one of my writing creative process segments this week. I am going to be doing some recording later in regards to the continuation of 30 to Make a Whovian. Yes, I'm continuing that, but I'm kind of going with a different format than what I did for the first episode of that. So, stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be launching a series talking about one of my other kind of more romantic kind of fantasy. That would be Outlander. Um, yeah, so I'm going to be talking about that, doing videos about Outlander as well. So if you've never watched Outlander, please look out for those. I'm going to try to be as spoiler free as possible, though it does get kind of odd and difficult with certain points to be spoiler free with Outlander because she has to get where she's going somehow. Yeah. Um, so, and if you watch the videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say that. I'm going to try to be as spoiler free as possible with Doctor Who to kind of let you um, check it out for yourself and enjoy it for yourself. But I do want to give you guys kind of the guide, video by video, episode by episode of that entire series of videos that I'm going to be doing. Um, but anyways, as always, look out for the normal stuff. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and let's get on with it. Let's talk comics. So, as always, I do these from my least enjoyed to my most enjoyed, and honestly, it's for comics, guys. Nothing was really all that, catastrophic. And like I said, one of these is going to be one that I read this week, but actually released last week. And we're going to start with that one, actually. We're going to start with Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, number 4 of 6. We got 2 more installments on this. Here's one thing that's going to add to your enjoyment if you are not already doing it. If you weren't already aware, the gentleman that writes this book is Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is an absolutely phantasmic actor, most known for Evil Dead, Briscoe County Jr., The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He was in the show Burn Notice. He has done various films and all that stuff. So, oh, Bubba Hotep. Yeah, he was he was in that one. That's a big one, guys. If you've never seen that one, that's a good one. Okay. Um oh golly. Yeah. So and of course, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, Ash versus the Evil Dead, the Star series that was on. Um, we've got a new Evil Dead movie coming out that I believe he is a producer on. He's not actually going to be Ash in the film, but that trailer looks insane. Um, but if you are reading Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, and you are a fan of Bruce Campbell, and you're familiar with Bruce Campbell's work, one of my personal favorites, Briscoe County, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., personal favorite of mine. if you like westerns, if you like kind of like futuristic kind of steampunk stuff though, um I would recommend it. Um it's good. Personal favorite of mine, that just me. Um and hopefully you, if you love Briscoe County Jr., the adventures of Briscoe County Jr., let me know in the comments. But if you are reading Sergeant Rock and you happen to not be reading anything that the good sergeant says in your head, imagining Bruce Campbell saying it, you pick up the issue again, try it again, because it adds to your enjoyment, I assure you. Especially if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, it definitely adds to your enjoyment. If you have not been doing that already, do it. Um, so basically, this is one of those things where it's just nothing absolutely catastrophic happens, nothing really big happens. It is just one of these solid, easy going, like, war stories, but they happen to also be hunting reanimated zombie corpses of Nazis. So, and they're hunting them in the process of trying to find the doctor that has created them. Um, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it is really just, they're in World War II, they're hunting Nazi zombies, and the doctor that created them. So Sergeant Rock and his team is all on this mission to eventually capture and or kill this dude, right? So this is just a, not really necessarily like, obviously you've got war, you've got fighting, you got guns, you've got, Bruce Campbell in your head talking. If you've already been imagining that, now if you haven't, now you got to go back and watch it or read it that way. So it's just one of those things where it's like, there's, it's issue 4, so maybe the climax is coming. In fact, it would, structure wise, the climax is still coming. Um, no major revelations. It's just a solid point A to point B story where you don't really have to sit there and think a lot, which is one of those things where it's like every once in a while you want a palate cleanser. And Sergeant Rock, I did not expect to like it. When I started reading it, I was just like, you know what, it's a new #1. I'm gonna read it. Let's check it out. We're gonna be getting anyways because my boyfriend loves horror books, loves Sergeant Rock, loves Bruce Campbell as well. So I might as well give it a shot. Didn't think I was gonna like it. Ended up liking it. Have continued to like it. Um, so yeah, solid book. It's at the bottom of my order right now, but don't let that deter you. In fact, check it out. Read it. Everything, you can make up whatever voice in your head for anyone else in this story, but Sergeant Rock, you have to think Bruce Campbell. You won't regret it. So the next one I'm going to be talking about, and the whole reason why this is probably um, low in my order is twofold. One, there wasn't a lot of books. Two, um, really has nothing to do with the writing. Um, it has everything to do with the fact that we skipped a number of months with this book. It went on a hiatus, and then it came back, and it came back like a banger, right? You know, and it was good, right? So then you're expecting this book to go boom, 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 boom through the rest of its 12 issue cycle. However, The last issue we got of this was November 1st. And we missed an entire month of December with this book. Did not have the continuation of this book until that was issue 8. This is issue 9. And I actually, have been loving this title, except for the fact that when I started reading it, it was like, do I even freaking remember what happened in the last issue? Because you had, like, usually a month in between issues is not that bad. However, they placed that month in between issues to be December. Okay, so a lot of things go on in December. I don't think I need to like list all the goddamn things go on in December. One of the things that goes on in December, a lot of people make a New Year's resolution to read more, and they want to start out of the gate and go for it, right? So they're already reading a lot, right? They want to, get the uptake and get right down in it and, go for it, right? So you're thinking about people like myself wanting to read more, getting a month where there's no continuation of the story. Everything else that happens in December, holidays, all that crap. So your mind goes elsewhere in this whole situation, right? So what happens is, in my case, and I've heard of other people having this problem, we get to the beginning of January with the 9th installment of Dark Knights of Steel, and you're like, did I miss something? Did I? What the hell? What the hell is happening? You get where I'm going for this, okay? So, um, all of a sudden you're greeted on the first page by this universe's Cassandra Cain, um, freeing Kal-El. And I honestly, right away, I'm lost. I'm like, um, what? Wait, what? And then you're like, you get, thrown back into the battle of the war. I legit, because this is spoiler-tastic, guys. I'm gonna tell you something that's a spoiler, so okay, get ready for it. Um, I totally forgot that the Queen of the Elves totally killed Hippolyta, but it wasn't actually. You get to find out that actually it is not actually the Queen of the Elves. It's not actually her. But you get to this whole thing where um you're like, oh shit. One that's gonna make it awkward, just saying, for Wonder Woman's relationship with her daughter. Meaning Wonder Woman's relationship with the Queen of the Elves. That's gonna make Christmas really awkward. Um, but then you find out that basically, if I'm understanding correctly, all of the members of the L family are not actually who they seem. Because Kal-El shows up, Superman, Kal-El shows up, and he's like, what's up, y'all? What's going on? He has no clue in his noggin what's going on whatsoever. The queen, the actual queen, shows up, and she don't fucking know, right? But she's like zooming and killing the fake her with the red vision and everything like that. you have everything just kind of happening everywhere, and you realize they're questioning the prophecy now too. The version of Constantine is questioning the prophecy. Like, this isn't exactly what we were imagining, and everyone, textbook prophecy problem. Anywhere there's a goddamn prophecy, you can't take it literally, people. Why? It's the truth universal with a prophecy. People are going to interpret it completely wrong or interpret it too literally and blow it out of proportion. And here's the thing, or they don't blow it enough in proportion. They don't blow it enough, you know. They look at the prophecy and say, "I'm not going to blow you enough." Mhm. So okay, please tell me, somebody tell me in the comments that you laughed at that, because I don't want to be the only one laughing at that. Um, anyways, so it's classic prophecy shit. Okay? It's classic prophecy bullshit. They're always surprised. That's not what we gathered from the prophecy. Well, duh, it's always like that. Um, so big surprise at the end. I don't want to give everything away. I know this is a spoiler-tastic review. Um, but what it is big giveaway at the end. A lot of times what you find in this series is that different ideas of characters, the different characters that exist in the regular DC universe, sometimes get a little bit skewed in different universes. This is the truth universal of having a multi, universe, that kind of thing. And considering that recently Dark Knights of Steel has been given its own universe in the whole scheme of things, one of the things that we discover is that a character has a double identity. And it's the reveal is meant to be like, oh wow, let's catapult us into the next issue. So that's why if you know, you know, and it's all good. If you don't know, I want you to be able to turn that page and see that reveal without me spoiling it for you. So if you haven't read it yet, it's a great reveal. It's a fun reveal, and it happens literally legit, I believe, on the last page. Let me double check. Because you do have, like, in all the issues for DC, you have the few pages at the end of each of the issues, basically being like, "Hey guys, we're gonna do the Lazarus planet thing," um, and then it does a nice little thing, and it's very actually, like, take a moment. If the idea of the Lazarus planet thing, basically a Lazarus pit blowing up into the atmosphere, is of any interest whatsoever to you, um, flip to that section of your DC Comics this month and take a read. See if it's possibly, you know, mileage will vary involving events for DC, and especially since we just got done with one like last month. Mileage will vary on this kind of thing, but at least they're giving you a lot of information to make an informed choice on whether you're going to follow it or not. Um, I'm trying not to show it on camera. Yeah, legit last page. Yeah, you basically you're flipping the page and there it is. It's a full splash page, lovely art. Yasmin, oh God, what's the name? Yasmin Hutri Prianto, um, top notch art. That was beautiful. That flip, and it's just a splash page. That reveal, lovely. I love that. I love it. Next book we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about the Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 4. And I'm not just enjoying this because my boy Red Hood's in it, okay? I know what you're all gonna say. Yeah, of course. Carrie likes it because Red Hood's in it. Her comic book boyfriend. Well, you know what? Yes, he is in it. Um, he is, but we are joining with the one version of the Joker throughout the whole issue that went to the hospital in the previous issue. And Red Hood has come to the hospital. He starts out outside of it. He finds his way in and starts hunting for the Joker. The Joker is trying to hide, you know. Um, so the Joker just bursts into a room, and there's a room full of kids with really bad cancer, and he starts trying to entertain them, but in a Joker way, which meets with actually varied results. Like, the kids are definitely amused by him. Yeah. So it's kind of good. Like, he's just like, "Oh, look at you and how sick you all are, and I'm going to make you laugh," because when it comes right down to it, um above everything else, Joker likes to laugh. So he wants to make these kids laugh. They're obviously very sick. Um so you get a little bit of a fight between some SWAT team members and the Joker and Red Hood. Um, with this really funny moment where Red Hood gets kind of locked into, I think it's a closet or something like that with two other people. He's like, Red Hood's like, "Wait, you're not going to try to kill me?" And he's like, "Well, you see, I could." Joker says, "Well, you see, I could, but I don't like it. It'd be like telling the same joke twice." Joker's got jokes. Anywho, so there's this moment. I want to know what y'all think of it. Um, that the Joker stumbles, he ends up with this SWAT team's gear on. Okay, so he's got like a helmet on and this like kind of paramilitary type gear on, and he ends up in the room of this woman, and she quite obviously has, like, either she's gone delirious or she has dementia, and she thinks that the Joker is her long lost um love that died in World War II. um and there's a moment every once in a while, you get it, with even the most diabolical characters, where there's a human side that gets shown, where the Joker actually sits there and plays along with this. Like, yes, don't listen to him. Of course, I am your love. I'm not dead, and I remember before my mother was a nurse, and she worked primarily in geriatric care, and a lot of her career was spent working with and taking care of people with dementia, Alzheimer's. And I was, believe it or not, a part of a sorority that did a lot of that stressed doing a lot of community service projects. And I actually, a lot of times when I was home on break from college, would go and volunteer, especially on the weekends, because it was one of these things where it's like they had all these women that were there, and it was Sunday, and it was either we're getting ready to have a nice little Sunday where we watch movies or whatever, or we're getting them fed and we're getting them made up for their relatives to come see them, right? So, me having a little bit of knowledge involving makeup, involving that kind of thing, and application, um, and having that gift of gabbing, would come in and help them get everyone fed, get everyone, made up. Um, and I had a lot of interactions with people where it was like they obviously, I mean, you guys have all heard about it. They thought you were someone else, and you either have to make the decision to play along or tell them they're wrong. And I remember a lot of times I would play along. Um, um, I was also a theater student, and I was like the acting thing came naturally to me, and I would play along and talk to them, and like they got to feel like they weren't. I imagine being someone with the Alzheimer's or dementia, probably to them it feels like they're being like gaslit all the time, like. So, except that wasn't a term that a lot of people used back then. But yeah, so I just like it was like one of these weird, tender moments of sympathy being shown by the Joker before he jumps out a window and gets out of there. But I just thought that was kind of like odd, and also kind of like, dare I say, kind of had some beauty to it, had some beauty. Yeah, had some beauty to it. And it was interesting how um the writer, being, don't have my glasses on, Rosenberg, that's right, Matthew Rosenberg, was able to kind of, with Joker with the children, and Joker with this old woman that thought he was her love, this whole shadow psychology, Jung's shadow psychology, I think it's Carl Jung. um you definitely see the concept of shadow psychology in other items of media, where it's the yin and the yang. Nothing is completely and horribly bad. Nothing is completely good. There's a gray area, and in that it's if you see like a yin yang, right? There's like the black, where it's mostly black but has like the little white spot, right? And then the opposite is true on the other side, where it's mostly white but has the little black spot. It's supposed to be the idea that shadow psychology, nothing is completely good, nothing is completely evil. There's always a weakness on either end. Um, but anyways, let's talk my favorite comic of the week, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's Batman. It's Batman 131 by Chip Zdarsky. Okay, guys, yeah, we got answers. So here's the thing: if you read last month's Batman, you're like, what the fuck, right? We got answers. So when Failsafe shot at Batman, he shot him with a particular weapon that he programmed to send Batman, send Bruce Wayne to a world of Gotham without a Batman. A world that needs a Batman, a world without a Batman, without Bruce Wayne, or possibly Bruce Wayne is deceased. Um, so you get that. You get this really hyper um, police state. You have them going door to door, um, collecting and killing people for seemingly no reason. He comes across this. He has guys, this is so cool. It's kind of like when I read it, I was like, oh my, so this is like the key to Bruce Wayne's subconscious is basically a skull Gordon. There's a skeleton with a mustache following Bruce around and commenting on what's happening. So it kind of reminds me from James O'Barr's The Crow. You have the Skull Cowboy, but in this case, you have the Skull Gordon, um, which is fun. I have to admit, I really did like this. Batman gets into some trouble. Bruce gets into some trouble. Comes across what could potentially be this universe's um, potential Robin with Jewel, because he recognizes that Jewel is an orphan like him, an orphan like Jason, like Tim, like Dick, all of them. Um, so he decides that he's going to try to figure out what's going on. And you also get the entry of someone named Red Mask, which, like I was talking about earlier, when you change dimensions, sometimes characters get a little bit screwed or skewed, more like. Well, Bruce Wayne is pretty screwed right now, but skewed or combined. So there's Red Mask, which is so obviously maybe a this dimension version having to do with Black Mask, and quite possibly either it's a play on words with the whole red thing, or it is legit a mashup of, this is just a prediction on my part, this has not been confirmed in the text, but a mashup of Red Hood and Black Mask, which makes some sense because here's the thing. If you have not read Under the Red Hood, you totally should. And then you'll know exactly what I mean, involving the connection between Red Hood and Black Mask in any storyline whatsoever. You also have Other Dimension, Selena Kyle showing up, and it looks like she is working for Red Mask. So we'll see where that goes. Also, you have a secondary story that was really great. That is a Tim Drake story, also written by Zdarsky, where Tim is not accepting that Batman is dead and trying to figure out how to bring him back. Something really cool that happens is they do make mention of uh, the storyline of the Joker in that story. It's very small, but they do make it. Um, I was ready to write off the story that Chip Zdarsky was going with Batman prior to reading this issue. I'm like, do need to explain some things to make me be okay with this. And he did it. He did it. If you use your willingness suspension of disbelief involving with the like one of the previous issues where in fact I think it was last month's issue where Batman is basically falling from the moon to earth, if you're allowing yourself a suspension of disbelief involving that, and because yeah, you gotta allow yourself a suspension of disbelief, Carrie, because the dude went to a totally different parallel universe. I think you guys get what I mean, though. Parallel universes, falls to Earth from moon, and just make it good. Just make it sound good. Just make it good when people read it, and it makes sense if you have the ability to have a willing suspension of disbelief. That's all you need. That's all you need to enjoy comics. Anyways, guys, that's it for me this week with the comics. Tune in next week where I talk about more comics. And we see, because I Am Batman is coming out, we see how the hell Lucius Fox talks himself out of this mess. If you haven't been reading I Am Batman, you won't know anything about what I just said. But if you have been reading I Am Batman, you know, poor Jace Fox. Poor guy. Comes Batman, has to deal with all the problems. And then he's got to deal with all the problems involving his family. Well, we'll see what happens. Until then, I'll be seeing you guys